Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven, by clear and convincing evidence, that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
So what you just watched there was obviously the verdict of the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial. And I'm not one to make these videos, and this is probably my first and last time I'm probably going to make a video on something quite like this, about like a trial, about something about two individuals just getting real ugly with each other and having one of the worst public divorces I think we have ever seen on YouTube and just on media in general, because we can all be honest here that what we have probably all been watching for the past few weeks now, for months now, has definitely been something that has just been shocking. Like all the stuff that's popped up with Amber Heard, literally crapping in the bed, to just finding out that she, defamed Johnny, to the op-ed, to just, like, falsifying evidence, to just the finger being cut off from Johnny. There has been so much that has happened in these past few weeks with this whole trial, and everybody's talking about it. YouTubers that are not even affiliated with this type of content are talking about it, and everybody's been watching it because it's just something that you don't normally see, and everything about it, to the memes, to just what it means for everything in general, it's been super fascinating. And I honestly cannot wait for the analytical videos that will appear maybe months after this today and come out to really analyze the entire trial with all the information that has been presented, because I know there's YouTubers out there that do stuff like that. They break apart trials, they break apart facial expressions and how people act within a trial, and they make videos on it, and I'm excited to one day be able to watch a video like that. But the point though is let's talk about today and what it overall means and why I'm even making this video. First things first, I'm happy. I'm happy for Johnny. I really am, because it's so sad what has happened to him, and just to be honest here, there was barely any evidence from Amber Heard's side. There was like some few questionable things, but overall, when it comes to just everything she presented to the jury, to just on court in the trial, there wasn't enough. It looked, a lot of it was fake, it looked like she was falsifying evidence, and she literally had mostly her word to go on, and she tore a man like Johnny Depp down for years. She ripped him apart with just pretty much her word, without any evidence whatsoever. And it's crazy to me how hard Johnny Depp had to fight just to repair his name somewhat, because let's be honest, despite obviously everybody being happy for Johnny today and everybody being excited, etc., it does not change the fact that in some areas Johnny's name will never be fixed. He will always have that arrow on his back, that name that he might have done something, for instance, to Amber Heard. And just that fact alone just shows how much devastation and damage that she has done to his very name. And just with no evidence whatsoever, by just saying it, she destroyed Johnny to that extent. And for him to have to come out and put everything publicly on display for the whole world to see is definitely something I think nobody wants to be in a situation of. Because when you look at just Johnny, and as a person, and everything that we've seen for over these weeks since the trial's been going on, Johnny Depp looks like he never wanted to have to put everything on display like this, but obviously had to, because he lost everything. Legitimately, he lost everything through just word of mouth alone. He lost everything, which is just truly sad to see how hard he had to fight just to get some of his name back. But obviously there's more that happened in this trial. I mean, obviously he's won. He got $15 million in damages. Amber Heard got $2 million, and technically, and if we think about what he got and what she got, he got 13 million, she got 2, or it just rounds up to 13 million in general. But the point though is that it's fascinating to me that Johnny, I can't believe how hard he had to fight to be able to win this case. That's what's crazy to me. And the fact that Amber was just straight up falsifying evidence, like, let's take a few moments to talk about that. The forensic guy that came on, like, last week, I think if you've been watching the trial, you know who I'm talking about. The guy that was talking about the photos, the pictures, the data, when the, the pictures were taking on what, device, etc., and how, like, if you want to keep evidence, you don't throw away your phone, all these different things that like, forensic expert popped up. And And going by what Asmongold said himself, he literally called the man a wizard, which it's so true. Like, why would you square up with a wizard that knows so much about, like, you know, this technology, this type of stuff? You know, why would you try to battle him? Like, why would the lawyer even try to do that? But obviously they did. And it just, the whole information that he dived into and expressed and showcased showed how much evidence really was falsified by Amber itself. And that was just so damning that it was ridiculous to see, with just like exposure, changing the exposure. And me, myself, as someone that is a content creator that makes photos, like, you know, thumbnails for my videos, etc., it's very easy to manipulate photos. It is. It's extremely easy. And I think many of us that are on the internet know this. We know how easy it is to create things and fake things. And so when you see what the data showed, it just showed how far she was willing to go. And I mean, the verdict pretty much proved it. She falsified evidence. She was someone that was defaming Johnny. She had a lot of malice in it. And it's just ridiculous, just like everything that actually happened today with the verdict and all that. And it's just, if there's one thing that really bugs me about this whole thing, like, I want to, you know, read this. So Amber made a statement, obviously, as soon as the news came out that Johnny won, and she made this tweet with this post, and I'll probably have it on screen for you to see. I might have it beside my face or whatever, but she made this post, and I want to read it here. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issues of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder still that I have to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. This entire thing is absolutely hilarious to me for one reason, okay? If you scroll down, you will actually see Amber Heard, you know, talking about freedom of speech, and she literally has blocked it where you cannot reply to her tweet whatsoever unless she follows you or she mentions you, which is just so disingenuous with this whole post she made. It's just crazy she's willing to talk about freedom of speech and all of this type of stuff, and then she stops people from even having an opposing opinion. It's like, you really want freedom of speech, don't you? It's just like, this just feels like such an ego trip when I look at this, and it just shows her manipulative nature that she's been demonstrating throughout the entirety of the trial. Like, what's crazy to me is the ratio as well. I mean, right now, currently, it's sitting at 167K, you know, quote retweets, which is obviously, when you look at the actual likes of the post. So, it just goes to show that there is a massive ratio here, and that, you know, not a lot of people agree with Amber at all. But, you know, what's crazy, though, is just, even with her losing, and it's very apparent she was a manipulator and she abused Johnny, she is still acting like this. She cannot take an L with stride. Just take the L with stride. But she had to make this very egotistical post. And that's what blows my mind about all this. It's just like, oh my goodness, you're not helping your case whatsoever, especially when you lock the comments and you try to talk about freedom of speech. That's what's crazy. That is legitimately crazy to me. But anyways, there's other things to talk about. So one of the other details that I find interesting about this entire trial is that when you look at it from the outside, you know, it's been obviously very creepy with how Amber Heard looks at the jury. Like, when you see how she continuously was on the stand and Johnny Depp's lawyers were talking to her, she was always looking at the jury. And it was just so creepy and so manipulative to do. And I feel like maybe the jury that was there, I couldn't imagine how creepy it was to see this woman continuously stare at you when someone else is talking to her. It's like, why are you doing this? Just look at the person talking to you. It's like if I'm talking with you guys, okay, right now, and I'm like looking over here. I'm talking over here, and you're talking to me. Let's say you're talking to me. I'm looking over here. I'm talking over here. What? It just, that's how weird it feels. It's creepy. It's legitimately creepy. So I'm just, man, what an interesting trial. And if there's one thing I'm happy for Johnny, obviously, he managed to clear his name. I think if there's one takeaway from this, he managed to prove that she defamed him, and he never abused her, sexually abused her, etc. It's overall good news. But another thing, though, if we're talking about Amber, if there is one thing that this case has done, at least, or at least what she has done, she likes to say that, you know, this trial has set back things, and in a way it has. But not in a way she thinks. She thinks it was set back because Johnny winning. But actually, it was set back for this entire case to even happen in the first place. For instance, she is a liar. She is literally, thanks to her lies and how manipulative she has been, she is the one that's set people back. She is the one that has done that. Not necessarily Johnny, but her itself. And that's what's crazy to me, because she has the audacity to say Johnny is a monster, an awful monster, just for wanting to defend himself. And that's what's crazy, too. It's just like, oh my goodness. But, yeah, overall, just what a day. Honestly, what a day. I never in my entire life did I expect something just so open and public display of just ugliness between two individuals. It's just, holy crap. Like, my goodness. What a time it's been on YouTube these past few weeks. But, anyways, I'll leave it at that. Happy for Johnny, good man, and yeah, be safe everyone, stay healthy. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like, and with that, Chibi out.